Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Please take your seats. Roll call, please.
Heister. Here. Savage. Here. Brocious.
Here.
Ramos. Here. Troop. Here.
I have 3 additions to the agenda. One being liquid fuel paving advertisement, the promotion of Corporal Nungesser, and then one event update for the Halloween trunk or treat. Do I have a second to add them to the agenda?
Second. Heister. Yes. Savage.
Yes.
Brocious.
Yes.
Ramos. Yes. Troop.
Yes.
There was an executive session held prior to tonight's council meeting to discuss personnel, real property, and possible litigation. At this time, is there any comments on agenda items at this time? Comments on agenda items at this time? All right, moving on. So I make the motion for the approval of the minutes and reports, minutes from July 13th and 27th meeting, and reports from the Fire Department, Police Department, Treasurer, Controller, Code Office, Health Department, Parks and Rec, and Planning Commission. Do I have a second?
Second. Troop.
Yes.
Heister. Yes. Savage.
Yes.
Ramos.
Yes.
Brocious.
Yes. Moving on, update suite.
Hey, everybody. All right. Am I here just for the update right now, or do you just want to go over the suite?
Whatever you want to do, Kurt. Whatever makes your life easier.
So on behalf of the suite committee, I'm here tonight to ask council to consider and approve proposed suite for the Newsom reservation policy and donation schedule. As council knows, the mission of suite is to preserve, protect, restore, and enhance our wetland while providing opportunities for environmental education, passive recreation, and community engagement. The pavilion gives us another way to carry out that mission. It provides a place for families to gather, for schools and nonprofit organizations to conduct educational programs, and for our smaller community groups and visitors to enjoy the park. Now that we have the facility, we believe it's extremely important to set a formal policy on the use of this pavilion so that any of our issues that are occurring, or KD can help us out with that. All right. We are proposing a reservation donation schedule of $60 for a 3.5-hour reservation and $120 for a full 8-hour reservation for Sunbury residents and households with students enrolled at the Shikellamy School District. For non-Sunbury residents and non-Shikellamy School District households, we're proposing $80 for the 3.5 hours and $160 for the full day, which is 8 hours. We wanted to keep these amounts extremely reasonable, as the purpose of these donations is to have the people reserving the facility help offset some of the costs in maintaining the park, instead of placing all those costs on the city and our committee. There is also a separate $150 refundable security deposit for every reservation. This is not revenue for the city or suite. It is there to help protect the city in the event there's an overwhelming, like there's damage that occurs or it's just unclean after the reservation is done. Our intent is that all reservation donations collected through the program are deposited through the city treasurer's office into the suite wetland donation finance account. And we put it directly back into the suite program for future use of maintaining and improving the park for the community experience. For planning purposes, we've used a very conservative estimate of approximately 75 reservations per year. We want it to be open from April 1st to October 31st. That would represent only about 13% of the utilization of approximately 581 potential reservation periods throughout that time span. So we're not expecting it to be reserved every single day or every single week or every month kind of thing. But we are looking at hopefully to be around $4,000 every year on the reservation fees. And if we're able to do that, that's very close and similar to the small grants that we've been collecting over the years to have the suite program maintained. So after we complete the first full reservation season, we'll have actual data and should be able to show how the pavilion was used, who used it, and how much we were able to collect for the city that maintained the property. But before the city approves the policy, I do need some decisions from you all so that I can update the policy accordingly, because there are issues occurring at the park. All right, so a policy decision that we need from you, every sweep committee board member is all in agreement, along with every visitor that we've spoken to that helps participate with volunteer activities, as well as the neighboring properties and households at the park. They all recommend that the bathrooms remain locked unless there's a reservation for the pavilion to be used. We have had complaints of people visiting the park and the bathrooms are locked. However, if you go to any other park throughout the city, the bathrooms are not kept open 24/7 unless there's some kind of reservation. At least this is to my knowledge. If there's something different occurring with the city properties, please let me know.
No, they're wrong.
Okay. So we do definitely want the city to agree tonight that it's the bathrooms remain locked unless there's a reservation for the sweep committees there to do so.
Yeah, that's what we do. Any bathrooms they have top because of vandalism.
Okay. All right, another thing that is a growing issue across the city, because I know you all are getting the complaints, I firsthand dealt with it 15 minutes before I even got to City Hall. With a adult-sized dirt bike on our hillside trail. We have a high number of electronic motorized bikes, whether it's kid size or adult size, zooming through the trails. Today was the first time we actually saw a dirt bike on the trail. I spoke with the person. They explained why we don't want this. E-bikes and dirt bikes are damaging the trails. They're causing tire ruts, whether or not you can see it or not, causing using of this. And then that little bit of a tire rut is causing us erosion issues along the trails. So when it's raining, the water is now running where the tire marks are going, causing trip and fall hazards for our community. So we don't want this. Another issue from these e-bikes and the dirt bikes throughout the city and using our street property is in potential injury to the people visiting. We've had walkers, the majority of the park is supposed to be walking. So the blueprints of the trails, it's all, the metal trail and the hillside trail is supposed to be foot traffic only. But the old rail trail, that was supposed to be part of the city's larger bike plan that they were planning back then. However, our committee is all in agreement, along with the neighboring residents. We want the entire park to be no e-bike, no motorized bike or anything, unless it's a handicap accessible type of bike. But we need some type of policy from the city regarding this, so that we can enforce this or help us out with whatever we got to do.
We'll have the solicitor write something up.
Okay, because even one of our volunteers, we have small volunteers down to like age 12 helping us out at this park. And he walked around the pavilion last month, and here comes the e-bike. It zoomed around the turn up the hillside and almost got to it. So we don't want e-bikes at the city property.
We want some signage, great. We get some signage
We
up
can't
there.
have the signage unless there's a policy for the city to enforce.
We'll put some signs.
Yeah. So that's something we definitely need the city to do. Get some kind of e-bike, motorized bike type of policy for the city parks. There's just too many people or have the potential to get hurt, and they don't know these bikes are zooming around on these small trails. And these trails aren't 10 feet wide. I think, Mark, I think it's only 6 feet wide on these trails. All right, so there's that bit. All right, another thing, we want those sweep pavilion to be handled like the city handles reservations at Cameron Park, the French Street Amphitheater. Monday through Friday, during business hours, we need the city to handle unlocking the pavilion if there's a reservation, locking the pavilion if there's, the reservation closes. On the evening hours, on the weekends, our committee is able to assist. Our committee is volunteer. We don't get paid to do this, but we're all putting in lots and lots of hours to help the city at this park. We all work Monday through Friday during daytime hours, so we are unable to get that pavilion ready if it's reserved. So we definitely need the city's assistance, whether it's DPW or Parks and Recs. Somebody that can have the key to the pavilion. It's super easy. They just need 15 minutes of their time. They would just go to the pavilion, unlock the girls' and the boys' bathroom, make sure the power is onto the pavilion so they have the outlets and everything. Keep everything shut off unless we're there. And then, once the pavilion's done, at the end of the work shift, go there, make sure nothing's broken, nothing's overly unclean, lock it back up. And then evening hours, after 4:30, after your city workers are done, then our volunteers will be off work by that time and we'll be able to assist.
Kurt, this is a question, may make life easier, and this is planning down the road. I don't know if that spot is a good internet spot, but possibly in the future, trying to get like the fob door locks that we could just program to unlock, like when your event is, just in case someone doesn't forget, like, or someone does forget, they can just unlock it from their phone and then relock it when it's over. Just something to think, planning long-term future for you guys, updates for the property.
If you're able to do something, that's gonna be more long-term.
That's what I'm saying, this, this is something that, that you guys, maybe put a grant in for, or planning down the road, just something to think about that way.
Because someone installed some type of electronic locking mechanism, so we're not sure who decided the locking mechanism was for the bathroom doors, because there's like 3 different locks on there. And the one is an electronic lock that doesn't do anything.
It's supposed to be a safety.
Well, we can figure that out later, but I mean, if it is one of those electronic ones like that, it may be Wi-Fi compatible, where we can just, if someone's gonna have it, I'm making this up here, from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m., you could automatically, set it so, hey, it opens at, we'll say 11:30 and closes at 4:30. This, so, if someone does forget or doesn't forget, someone can have access to
If
that.
the city wants to go that electronic route in
Yeah.
the future, that's fine if the city wants to do that, but in the meantime,
Yeah, I'm just,
we need the city's
assistance.
assistance
Yeah.
with this. Because next year's program goal is, everyone that's utilizing this space, they want it to be like the marina, miniature scale. So we want one grilling station at the pavilion, but it's gonna be an outdoor grilling station like the marina has, but ours isn't gonna be open 24/7, it's gonna have a lockable lid to it. That way it's only unlocked during the reservation of the pavilion. So as long as council is fine with us doing one outdoor within all the work with the PD or fire chief, whatever we do, and make sure it's a safe spot next to it. All right. If y'all had time to approve the policy, plus some of these changes that we're talking about tonight, can we approve the policy, or are we gonna wait until we can get the e-bike thing done?
Well, I think Joel should review everything prior to.
Yeah, and I think talking with the chief on the e-bike stuff, as long as, again, like, I don't think we have an issue putting the policy in place, because we already have the policy in place for the e-bikes. Now, if it gets, like I said, gets signage up there, that makes it enforceable, that way, it'll be a slam dunk for us on our end.
Share your frustration with e-bikes.
All right, so we already have a policy then?
Yeah, well, basically,
Is it a
there's no
written
place,
policy?
there's no place for e-bikes in town.
Yeah, it's a written policy the council adopted earlier this year because of
But
the
is
issue.
this a citable offense? How is this taken care of?
So,
when we
well,
have these issues?
A lot of the violations are with the bikes are acceptable.
Okay.
So,
What type of language would we need on the sign?
I would just, the same signs I'd like to have on Market Street as far as there's no bikes on the sidewalk. So there's no bikes in the trailway.
So it's just no bicycles, including set of bikes.
That's what you say you want, with no.
No
bikes.
motorcycle, no motorized vehicles except for handicap.
Because you want that tangible for the handicap, the jackets and whatnot.
Yeah.
But, so, that same.
Okay, and then what happens if we have that on the sign, and then we run into an issue, well, this is my accessibility reveal, but it's a big deal.
Well, it's one of those things, if that's the case, obviously you have documentation from a medical professional saying that, hey.
It would be a case-by-case thing with data that is produced, so.
Yeah, and I'm willing to bet that you guys will be able to tell the difference and use your guys' best judgment if, if it is for, a medical disability or just someone, I don't want to rip up the trail.
So since we already have the e-bike policy, then we can just automatically include it into this policy, right?
Correct.
All right. Well, then for hopefully next meeting, I'll try to be able to come up here and have this policy finalized. Because there's people that do want to use it. If anybody reaches out to City Hall though to use it, it's just not usable yet until we get the policy in place. Because we need to protect this property until it's actually being utilized by everybody. But right now, the parking for the pavilion has only been unlocked at least once every month while our group is out there doing volunteer activities. And then every time that I'm out there working in the park doing something, I unlock it so people have access to it. All right, so the next thing is, within your email, there should have been a 12 by 18 design of a sign that we want. Everybody that comes through, they're like, oh, where does this trail go to, kind of thing. So we need to have a map overlay, and we thought that worked out pretty good for what we need. So can we get approval so that I can do that purchase? It's the same as all the other signs that we got, same exact size. I had one in Market Street, and it should be like less than 200.
Anybody have an issue? I'll make the motion. All right, so I'll make the motion for the 12 by 18 sign for the sweeps committee. Do I have a second?
All right, another thing we want.
Well, we have to discuss, we have to-
Yes. Ramos? Yes. True?
Yes,
Ister? Yes.
Yes.
All right. Another thing is just so we can get prepared for summer, winter. Summer is ending, winter is fast approaching. We have a lot of tools, supplies, equipment. That storage room is completely full of all of our volunteer stuff.
That's building number one.
No, yeah, that's fine, we're good with that, we'll get the money for you. But our question is there any way that the city can install a small heater kept on minimal requirements of maybe, I don't know, 60 degrees, 55 degrees or something, just for that storage room? It'll help with all the water pipes, because the water pipes for both bathrooms are right there in the storage room. It's on the outside of the walls, inside the storage room, and it'll help all of our stuff. So all of our tools are battery operated, so we don't want to run into the risk of all our batteries exploding inside here during the winter time. And we don't want to be hauling everything back to our homes to store the stuff again.
You and I will get together and look at that, maybe this week.
Because even if it's like a small one that you can hang from like the ceiling, just keep it on a small temperature during the winter and shut it right off once the weather stops being freezing. That's definitely something we want. And then another thing to get put on your maintenance plan for the city is to winterize the pavilion starting November 1st, leading up all the way to the April 1st. So all the water needs to be drained out, the piping and everything. And our volunteers, we don't want to do that because if anybody leaves any water in there without any kind of heating element in the storage room, you're going to run into a risk of damage and then we won't be able to use the pavilion. So we definitely need some kind of heat source in the city to take care of that maintenance option. Another thing is, I'm going to get into you later, we need some key posts so we can get some of those instructional signs up there. And then we just need approval so we can apply to the Charles B. Dagenstein Foundation for funding next year of that drilling area. And then we want to get a wooden informational kiosk at one of the trail entrances.
All right, so I'll make the motion to have SWEET apply for those grants. Do I have a second? You might have that. Okay, hold on. So first of all, sorry, Kurt. You need to make the motion to add for SWEET to be able to apply for Dagenstein grants. Do I have a second to add?
Second. Savage, yes. Procius.
Yes.
Ramos, yes. True.
Yes.
Ister.
All right, now I'll make the motion for SWEET be able to apply for grants to the Dagenstein. Do I have a second?
Savage. Yes. Procius.
Yes.
Ramos. Yes. True.
Yes.
Ister. Yes.
All right, and just real quick update on our activities during the Hamada. So far, we were able to install 132-gallon steel trash receptacle off of Race Street at the park for the pavilion. One trash can has drastically helped with the dog poop issue from being on the ground. We don't see as much as we used to last year. And it's also helping with the litter control. Even visitors that don't drop the stuff are seeing things, are picking it up, they see the trash can, they're putting it in. So that one trash can was funded by the Charles and Betty Dagenstein Foundation. So we're very appreciative of them to help us out with that portion of it. This year we installed 15-seater 4x4 by 8 posts for our sponsor trail naming and to begin installing our educational signs. So far we have 4 educational signs installed throughout the park. The remainder will be installed by the end of this year. Along with, we're working on 3 concrete bench foundations that are like 3x6. Those are steel benches that were sponsored for. So by the end of this year, hopefully we get the benches also installed. Quick Creek donated over 6,000 pounds of cement for everything that we needed this year. The YMC Sunbury donated all the wood that we needed for our programs this year, and then Lloyd's Landscaping donated all the rock materials that we needed for everything this year. 3 local businesses are awesome. So far this year, our volunteers have put over 400 hours into the park for the community. And they've helped remove, not from the green trash can, but from all our activities, we've removed 16 45-gallon bags of litter so far. That's just something that we're going to see. It's a big open area, trash gets blown in. Most of this is from the beginning over the winter break kind of thing. And then we want to just thank DPW for their assistance in mowing services and helping us move things around as needed. Any questions?
Thank you, sir.
Hey, nice job.
Kurt, quick suggestion, or with the dog issue. Would you think about, maybe putting a couple, I've seen a lot of places at different parks, couple of dog baggies on the post or something?
Yeah, but that all comes down to the flooding as well. So
Can you put it in one of the days too?
yeah, we can include that into that.
That might help a little bit, because I know there's times people are walking, they don't have like.
Yeah, that's definitely something the volunteers have talked about, putting at one of the trails. Just add it to the
Then you get to them, to the right.
Anything else?
Yeah, hold on.
Yes, so Kurt, so part of what you're doing is that you have local colleges that come to sweep, you have researchers that are coming, you have local contractors, you have local businesses which do things, but also a ton of local community service hours, and also a former mayor spearheading a project that he didn't give up on. So in light of that, we agree that you should be a recipient for the city carry award.
This has been a huge group effort throughout the whole community of Sunbury to get to where we are with the Sunbury Wetland Ecological Educational Park. This all started as an idea way back in 2018 with some of these original council members. And here we are today with a brand new park public facility for the community to use. So thank you for everybody and for the current council for their support of us to continue improving the park experience. How come?
Go right easier.
I'm going to interrupt any more than I did.
Great job.
Jody Ocker? What? And Sarah? Step up front here, please.
Yeah, you broke it, Jody. You broke it.
Jody, Sarah, all the work people have been doing for the last years, not months, years. And I think Sunbury is one of your concepts and it's beautiful. So I want to present that, the whole city council, myself, to you folks, for your office or somewhere down there.
Thanks for everything you do, Joey. Appreciate it.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you for everything you do. Appreciate it.
It's very kind, and I'm very proud of what we've been able to do and how far Sunbury revitalization has come. And being able to bring Sarah on as a full-time downtown manager, there's just even better things coming. So thank you so much for all the support, and we'll wait and see what happens next.
Moving on, police update, Chief Slash.
Okay, starting with the July stats. Which one? Okay, capping up July stats, dispatch call service, 814, total arrests, 54 persons, 53 felony arrests, 200 misdemeanor arrests, 91 of which were summaries, 214 traffic stops, so despite some people on Facebook, we are out there. Citations, 53, 16 written warnings on the traffic stops, the rest were verbal. Total phone calls to the police department, 2,845. 144 of those calls were flipped over dispatch to become some of the previous mentioned 814 calls for service. 438 parking tickets were issued. So revenue still owed to us for those is a little over 6,000. Foot patrols. Start bringing back foot patrols. Start to track that. Work with Maryland Matt. Trying to get some guys out there. Some of the nice weather. We're working on some loops to track that. So bringing those back. We've already done several tracking. We're trying to make it like a mile loop if we can, if time allows. So trying to set some landmarks for the guys to hit. So the goal will be to start hitting like 10 miles a month if we can and go up from there. All right, stats.
Thank you, Chief. Moving on here to then old business, text to pay. So I know this has been a discussion topic for a while here, so we did a little information here. So text to pay for the last, since we got here in 2023, in 2023 it brought in around $1,100, and then 24, $3,400, $35, excuse me, $25, $3,500. it costs about $1,000 when we signed up for it per year. In the beginning of the year, it did stop working on our end, but when Renee today called T2, they were not even aware it stopped working on our end. They actually tried to go in and actually do like a credit card purchase, and they weren't even aware it wasn't working. So they had their engineer servers on call to try to get this figured out. So I didn't know if, with that being said, if council still wanted to proceed with text to pay or wanted to not continue with text to pay. So obviously I don't want to have her put all this time and have them put all this time into it if it is not something that council wants to do. But so I don't know how council wanted to proceed with this, but I just want to bring forth the information that we learned today about text to pay. So like I said, we signed the contract, this was 3 years ago, we updated all the meters, updated this. It was $1,000 per year to have the program.
To add on to
Yeah, which we already paid for. So like I said, I didn't know how council wanted to proceed with the text to pay. Like I said, last year it brought in $3,500, and the 2 months of the year that it was up, it brought in $800 so far, before the system went down.
It was still just 1,000, Josh, we ought to try and see how it runs.
Yeah, so like I said, I wanted to leave it up to council. Like I said, I obviously wanted to make a decision, so obviously we won't know until it gets back up and running again. But like I said, I didn't know if council had any comments, concerns before we have a vote.
Well, once it's up and running, Francis can do a story on it.
Yeah, and I think a big one also is getting more signage and awareness out there, because as the chief said, when a lot of the attorneys come in town for trial, like that, they're using the text to pay. A lot of people at the courthouse are coming in there to the courthouse per. So, questions by council, comments, concerns? All right, so I'll make the motion to continue using text to pay. Do I have a second?
True?
Yes.
Ister? Yes. Savage?
Yes.
Procius?
Yes.
Ramos?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Moving on to clerk minutes. We discussed this maybe a month or so ago about the clerk minutes, how we just plug in the recorder and it spits out what we're seeing, public comment, and so on and so forth, saving many, many hours of typing out what is said from the audio. So just for example, when we had those long meetings back in June, July, like public comment alone was an hour and a half. So figure, when you're listening, you listen to that 2 or 3 times to get what people are saying. This is going to save a lot of time and be more efficient. So in your packet, there's different options. So for example, the one is $129 a month. You get 5 meetings that you can translate, 3 board members, 3 different departments. Now, if you choose to go up, I say we don't do that right now. I just say, hey, we stick with the basic package to see how it's working. If we do need it more so, we can do so. Like we can use this when we're having construction meetings, planning meetings, blight meetings, RA meetings, any type of, whatever it may be. So like I said, I didn't know how council felt about wanting to do this, if we wanted, try to get more information, but basically it's all right there, the number of meetings that you get for, the basic, then you can upgrade to higher and higher. So I didn't know how council felt or how they wanted to proceed, but like I said, I just wanted to bring this forward so we know if we could continue or put this to bed.
I think it's something we want to put into the budget for next year.
Okay, we can do that. We said we can contact the company and see, like, hey, if we sign up for a year-long subscription to see if we can get some type of discount to do that. So we won't proceed at this point, but we will get information for next year's budget. Is that an issue with anybody?
The way it states, it looks like we do get it, yes, now if we pay it for a year.
You gave us
We said,
sorry.
we said it was $30 a month there if we go for the year.
And we'll see if we can get a better deal. All right, so no decision we made at this point, so I'll have Robin or Jeff reach out to the company for next year and see what we can do for numbers. All right, then moving on here to accepting ownership of 923 Edison Avenue. So that came forth last meeting. We decided to table it until now. Once we did more research on the property to see what the condition of the property was and so forth. So I know Councilman Neisser has been involved in, I know Steve has been helping also with DPW with Kevin. So I didn't know if anyone had objections to accepting that property.
I do, because I don't think we should be taking off the tax rolls, but that's just my opinion.
I mean, my opinion, I respect that, but once again, the person wants to, I want to say donate it, give it to the city because they do not want it. It is, if you do drive up there, the weeds were higher than the fence, so eventually we're going to end up, I won't say we would, but I feel it become a blight issue, then we end up taking it through the process anyway.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, so I say we, bite the bullet, take it now and try to fix it up, rehab it, and then possibly put it out for, not rehab it, but fix it up, clean it up, and possibly put out for auction at a later date with other properties. I know Councilman Neisser has been gathering that we could put up for auction again.
Yeah, Jeff, want to give us an update, Jeff, if you're out on that?
That building, we've actually cleaned it, we've got it cleaned up, the backyard cleaned up. I was inside the property, looked at it, if you want to know. I looked at the property, I mean, it's, I think, and I'm not one to fight, but I think it's a worthwhile property to take, we do whatever we do with it, and we sell it, get a good family and put it back on the tax roll, I think it is.
Yeah.
Let it sit there, it's been.
We're gonna end up taking it by blight anyway, because it's been sitting there for,
It's sat there for over 3 years, it's been sitting, and we're gonna end up going after it code-wise, so we're gonna get it through courts, where we can get it for free right now, and get it back on the tax roll. I mean, when we keep on, if we were to put money into it, just my opinion, put money into it and bring a beautiful family into town, and just keep going, we could. Just, like I said, just my
I think that we should take it, finish cleaning it out.
of course, yeah. And then we can make further decisions how we wanna proceed. But I say, we take it, get it cleaned up, that way the neighbors in the whole neighborhood are gonna be happy because the property no longer has 6-foot high weeds in it.
Once it's cleaned up, I know we have another property up there on, I guess, this, but we want Fifth Street also. Fifth, yes.
We can do
Multi,
auctions if we choose to go that route. Councilman Ray, I know you had a comment.
Are we thinking like how much are we going to propose we invest to bring up this?
I don't think we should be getting into that kind of business, but proposing to put money into a property.
Well,
That's not-
I mean, that would be a council decision, but I think at this point, we need to accept accept the property, and B, obviously get it cleaned up, meaning the grass, I mean, like the yard cleaned up, the stuff inside the house, take it out of the house so it's not, I'm gonna say it's hoarded cool thing, but, you know, get it, so it's more of a blank slate in the property, so if we choose to go auction it off, people can actually walk through the property and not worry about tripping and falling over things.
it's only clean inside, outside, up.
Then we can make a decision from there.
Yeah, get the deed and get rid of stuff.
All right, so
Is it structurally sound?
I think so.
we would have to bring,
It has new metal roof on it, I mean, it had a leak, but the leak I think is quelled with the metal roof, I think it's.
yeah, and we obviously have to bring in MetTech and Mike Thomas to get, you know, an actually official thing. But like I said, regardless, if we don't deal with it now, we'll have to deal with the property later on through the nuisance problem.
When we spoke about it at the last meeting, the solicitor, we said he was gonna prepare, kind of a report on the property for us, but so I don't know that I've actually seen that, but my other question is, if the city assumes ownership of it, do we then assume, are we covered it, like, under the insurance policies as well? Like, if somebody slips and falls up on a busted sidewalk, are we covered?
We own it, and we'd have to.
Yeah, you'd have to put it under policy.
Yeah. But hopefully,
If anything, any other property we own.
Sure.
yeah. I mean, as Councilman Neisser said, get it cleaned out, get it, you know, get it up for auction and,
I don't believe we should rehab it, we clean it up and put it on a market.
yeah.
No, I think you just clean it up, like
Clean
you
it up
said,
and try to
and
sell
get
it.
it ready to, people can see it and
We
then
should
go
be
there and
using
auction.
public money to go out
And let
and fix
the
it up.
person, whoever, you know,
And we can also,
if you get a couple dollars, if you get a couple $1,000, it's a couple $1,000, but they're gonna rehab it.
yeah, what they want, and we can put our own stipulations on there as well.
Exactly.
All right, so I'll make the motion to accept the ownership of 923 Edison Avenue. Do I have a second?
Second.
True.
Just on the record, I don't want to put any public money to fix it, but I'll take this, but yes.
Yes. Savage.
Yes.
Brochus.
Yes.
Ramos.
Yes.
All right, moving on to new business, the promotion of Corporal Nungesser. Chief Slack, I didn't know if you want to speak about it shortly for a little bit here?
Yeah, just a little brief background. Corporal Nungesser, filling a vacancy I left when I was promoted to chief. I was sergeant spot. Been a policeman with us for over 5 years. Been a corporal, I think, just about 2. 1, 2, close. Great. Done a great job. He excelled at all testing, and he's been spectacular with me and helping me in into my new role. And pulling out the fourth there, he excels at all the paperwork aspects we've got too. So he's been a great asset to me.
All right, so I will make the motion to promote Corporal Nungesser to Sergeant Nungesser. Do I have a second?
Second.
True.
Yes.
Ister. Yes. Savage.
Yes.
Ramos.
Yes.
Troop. Brochus.
Yes. Now, Corporal Nungesser, do you accept the promotion?
Yes.
Okay.
He will be getting pinned by his wife. His lovely wife.
All right. Corporal Nungesser, please raise your hand and repeat after me. I, Sergeant Nungesser,
I, Sergeant Nungesser,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support,
that I will support,
obey,
obey,
and defend the Constitution of the United States
and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth.
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth.
I will enforce all laws
I will enforce all laws
of the Commonwealth in Pennsylvania
of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania
and the ordinances
and the ordinances
of the City of Sunbury.
of the City of Sunbury.
I will discharge
I will discharge
the duties of Sunbury Police Officer with fidelity.
the duties of the Sunbury Police Officers with fidelity.
I do further swear
Do further swear
that I will uphold,
I will uphold,
obey,
obey,
and enforce all laws
and enforce all laws
without consideration
without consideration
of a person's race,
of a person's race,
color,
color,
sex,
sex,
religious creed,
religious creed,
sexual orientation,
sexual orientation,
age,
age,
national orientation,
national orientation,
handicap,
handicap,
or disability.
or disability.
So help me God.
Well,
So help me God.
so help me God.
That's for you, man.
Thank you.
Should have just did that first.
It's a big team that reach across.
You don't hear, you don't go first, Kevin.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to new business. The other addition was the advertisement for liquid fuel paving. Steve or Kevin, I didn't know if you wanted to speak about that, what it's looking for.
Yeah, we're doing about 6 or 7 alleys that we have on the list. We have a large list, but cost-wise, we've been able to do a few a year. Since they hit them pretty hard last year, we're going to try to continue this on a yearly basis. So we're going to put out the bid and come in for to get some alleyways made this year.
Question?
Anything that
Questions from council? All right, moving on, no, not moving on. So I make the motion to do the advertisement. Do I have a second?
True.
Yes.
Savage.
Yes.
Ramos.
Yes.
Brochus.
Yes.
Ister.
Moving on, we already did the sweep thing, so moving down to the lattice. That is the busing service that goes about town. You've probably seen it's a big red bus. You can't help but see it. So like I said, we did that last year. We make the contract is up. So I'm making the resolution for 2026-13 for the lattice operational finance assistance. Do I have a second?
Savage.
Yes.
Brochus.
Yes.
Ramos.
Yes.
Ister. True.
Yes.
Moving on, Councilman Shrew.
This is going to be property access and dock use agreement for Packard Industry LLC. What we're trying to do is put a different access in there, so we're not going to 53 footers and pavements up there. So we're trying to limit it to single axis trucks so they can't tear it up. And the company's working on that to do it. Steve, you have anything you want to add to that?
No, we just need this to go through, that this creates a contract between the city and the entity that owns that. That puts teeth to it, that they cannot back it in. If they do, they're gonna get fined $1,000 every time.
That's not going to cover the road. We got to make it better. All right, Councilman
Would you like to
Shrew.
put that in motion?
Second.
Ramos.
Yes.
Brochus.
Yes.
Savage.
Yes.
Ister. True.
Yes.
All right, moving on, Councilman Savage.
Okay, Treasurer Martino made the comment. So, the resolution number 2026-15, the police pension fund, MMO, WO. So I'll make a motion that we approve the matching fund contribution as listed in the packet we received.
Second.
Ramos.
Yes.
True.
Yes.
Ister. Savage.
Yes.
Brochus.
Yes.
The second resolution, the 2027 Sunbury defined contribution pension plan, this is for all the city employees non-uniform that are still on this plan. And that, oh, I'm sorry, 401K. So then I think we're tabling this one?
And table this, and we're gonna verify a few things to your conduct secret.
Thank you. So I'll make a motion that we table this one. The contribution pension plan.
Second.
Ister. Yes. Savage.
Yes.
Brochus.
Yes.
Ramos.
Yes.
True.
Yes.
Keep going, Councilman Savage.
At this time, I'll make a motion for the approval of abstract vouchers for the general fund in the amount of $88,000.32 and payroll in the amount of $89,524.44. Second.
Brochus.
Yes.
Ramos.
Yes.
True.
Yes,
Ister. Savage.
Yes.
All right, moving on to discussion. So, we talked about this, the MMO. So police pension, like I said, we just had our second quarter meeting here in July here. The police pension is doing very well. We're about $17,900,000. They broke $18 million a few times, but sadly not before we print it off. So I just want to give council and the public an update on that. It's just something else that we probably want to be made aware of here. I know Councilman Ister follows it very well, because obviously that's what we owe our pensioners once they retire. So after looking into it, the only people contributing into that pension are the employees. So obviously the city doesn't contribute into it. We don't use the state aid from the state to go into that pension either. So the only people who contribute into that pension are the employees. Now, speaking long-term wise, I know it's always a hot topic about, hey, if that money ever runs out, we're responsible as a city. So I didn't know if we want to look budgetarily wise for next year, either A, we contribute like we do for the non-uniform, or B, using some of the state aid that we do get to put in there. So at least something extra is going in besides the employee contributions. So obviously, that's not a decision being made here tonight, but it's maybe something we want to consider, because it's one of those things. Right now, the pension is doing very well, but, you know, Councilman Nicer, I know Councilman Troop, when it wasn't doing well, the city owed an MMO. So it's one of those things we want to consider putting some money into that from at least some of the city that we do get.
I don't know if we can put that money that we get from the state aid into the
We
police.
can't put any of these.
I didn't think so, I think because we
So-
don't have MMO, that's the reason
But
we can't.
we should probably just have a general meeting on all of it to discuss
Yeah.
across the board and look
I'm just saying it's something to consider, even if we can't put that money in there, at least consider putting something in there, because, you know, if one day if it is insolvent and we're responsible, you know, obviously we don't want that to happen, but you never know. So it's just something that we probably should consider moving forward, because you never know when that day may come, because Councilman, when did that happen? Back in the early teens or something like,
John Chippen was on council.
so what, 12, 13, it happened, the city owed MMO. So it's just something to consider moving forward.
Let's
So,
just make that one of the work
session, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
So it probably won't be till the beginning of
Or
September.
we can actually have other people come up too.
Well,
Yeah.
we can go back to, we can Julie, we can have Ashley, we can go, I can see and get someone from MRS.
Yeah,
So then we can talk across the board for all three entities.
yeah, that works. And say, figure that for the September work session.
Yeah, I got a lot of questions.
We'll need enough time for that, though.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, we probably should start earlier.
And just that's, you know.
That's the only topic for that night, yeah. All right, we can do that. Thank you, Lisa, and thanks for saying that. So then moving on to National Night Out, which was last Tuesday. It was a great turnout. Councilman Icer was there. He saw the great turnout in the ring. It's just something, Renee, she helped plan it, and so did the chief. So we were talking about, instead of leaving it on, usually it always falls on the first Tuesday. We're thinking about moving it to the prior week, because everyone does it on the first Tuesday, and we can't get a lot of things that we used to, since everyone's doing that. Like, we used to be able to get the state police helicopter, you know, stuff from the military, but now that everyone's doing it on the same night here locally, it's tough to get. So we're thinking about moving it to the week prior, so that way we get all those things for our citizens and our kids to see those types of things. So I just want to bring council up to date on that, if they, you know, just so they're aware of it, so if they do see that planning in the future, that's the reason behind it.
Well, if you move it to the week prior, that's what, a week in between that and Sunbury celebration, basically?
Or we can move it a week after, it doesn't really matter.
I mean, how do you feel about that? I mean, that's a lot of work for everybody that's been doing stuff up there.
That's on the way over your thing about this.
Yeah, like I said, that was just a suggestion, it doesn't have to be the week before. I mean, we just said about having it possibly the Friday.
I don't disagree with moving it. you
Yeah.
know, But, you know.
Maybe a different day that week.
Yeah, I said, it could be whatever, like I said, it's just something that we just want to move the date, so we gotta get more stuff for what we used to get. So that was just, you know, suggestion moving forward, just want to make everyone aware of that, so if they do see, hey, it's on that date, that's the reason why. And then moving on to other announcements. The Violet Christie story on the Hope and Kopf on August 15th from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. in Cameron Park. Riverfest is this weekend, the 14th, Friday the 14th and Saturday the 15th. Next council meeting will be Monday, August 24th at 6:15 here at the council chambers, with the budget meeting being held prior. SRI Summer Sunset Concert will be Saturday, September 19th from 6 to 9 in Cameron Park. And also the Halloween, which will be here soon, the Trunk or Treat, October 24th from 6 to 8 up at the Biters parking lot. Is there any other announcements at this time?
Yes, I have
Oh, go ahead.
Just quick, again, if you, as we're heading into public comment, if you have any questions for the code department regarding code, you can submit to my office and we can get a response to you by phone, by email, or by letter. So we just need to make you accurate responses to your questions.
Any other comments at this time? I mean, keep it comments. Announcements. All right.
I have one announcement.
Oh, go ahead, Joe.
Northumberland County Fair, August 18th to the 22nd, out at Tall Cedars Grove.
If you can get Jeff a flyer, that way we can get it posted online.
Okay.
Try to help you guys out, so.
All right.
Awesome. Any other announcements, anyone? All right, is there any public comment at this time? All right, I'm gonna start here, work my way over, and then work my way back. So.
Victoria Rosencrantz. I haven't been here for a while, so I'm gonna go down memory lane real quick here. Last time I was here, first, actually, let me start with a positive. Kurt Karlovich, congratulations. Absolutely well-deserved. Jody and Sarah as well. Congratulations. All the hard work you've put forth. I didn't want to go without saying that, because I tell you, the work and the stories I'm hearing out in the city and people talking to me outside as I'm out in the valley and talking about things Sunbury, the positive, the growth that they're seeing. Keep up the great work. Now I'm going to go down memory lane. This is where it gets funky. But anyways, last time I was here, Mr. Welker, last time I was here, you chose to tell me to F off. And I'm tired of coming here to council, and your gaslighting response back to me was because of my tone. Now I want to explain to you my tone. My tone that night was trying to understand the grant things going into the Americas and the Eagles, okay? I was just trying to, and what my point was, were we really meeting the need of our community in those two entities? That's what I was trying to explain, but you didn't let me get there, okay? So, Councilman Troop, thank you for taking care of that situation, but I also want you to know, that night, I said, you know what, forget it, I'm not gonna help you. Somebody from the back of the room said, well, that's not really fair, Victoria. It is fair when you're spoken to that way. My tone is many, many years of frustration in this room. The pulling the rug out from under people, the disrespect, the no answering emails, the no responding because we don't have to issue ordinance. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And I could stand here for hours because I have a lot of stories over the years. So, with that said, Mr. Walker, just want you to know, in 2 hours, I got 92 signatures for you for that grant, okay? So, Ms. Rosencrantz, it doesn't do anything in the city. Just want to correct this out. Next thing I want to talk about, Mr. Eister, you made a point last council meeting that I put an article out. I don't know of any article that I put out anywhere. It was a comment on Tyler Kerstetter's post about the Sunbury skate park. His last sentence said, I wish more people that could help our efforts see why this project is so critical of our future and youth. Now, first thing that happened was a citizen tagged my name. Why did they tag my name? Because Victoria will support those efforts. And I said, I absolutely support Tyler and the Sunbury Skate Park board members. They know I'm willing to help in any way I can. Then I said, what I really want to see is the Sunbury Parks and Rec take it more seriously and assist more with obtaining grants. That's all I said. I didn't say anything different than Tyler said. I just added grants. Now, I have a skate park grant from 2013, the fund, until, thank you, until last year. I didn't see any deposit of any grants in there. So I think what I was speaking is the truth, unless that money went elsewhere. I'm just saying, there was boards that were purchased for there. Kevin Troop, did Steve Walker go up and look at those boards? Those things in the skate park?
Oh, they're in the warehouse, yeah,
Okay,
they're there.
all
I
right.
told you that, we spoke the other day.
Yeah. So is Parks, is DPW gonna be replacing them?
I
or-
don't know what avenue we're gonna take, because it's a
Okay.
pretty bad place when I'm looking at, what I see, even the plastic that's underneath is even shot. So,
Yeah, okay. So, all right,
We
so I
have to wait and
just
see what
want to
happens.
clarify, because
Right.
folks stand up, my name came up because I
We're
put out
we're
an
trying to
article.
work together with everybody on council.
Absolutely,
Mr.
and
Oyster, and try to
I
get
have no
this
doubt,
done.
but what I'm saying is that in a meeting, said that I put out an article that wasn't true. I didn't put out an article. I have it in black and white, all I said was rant. All I'm saying is the truth, okay? Moving on, even though I was accused of not. Camera litigation. Let's talk about that. That's been a bone of contention since last year when I asked who turned the audio on. Nobody answered it. Solicitor Weiss called me over on Saturday and we talked at length about that. And so Solicitor Weiss and I had a really long conversation about cameras, about no contract, about audio being turned on. Is that still what the state attorney general's office for investigation? As far as you know? Okay, just want to go down memory lane. Because when Victoria says something, I'm wrong, even though that people were being recorded in a two-party state. Last thing, Mr. Oyster, is Lake Fest under Parks and Rec, my understanding?
Pardon?
Is Lake Fest under Parks and Rec now?
It was discussed at the committee meeting.
Okay, because the last thing is Christine sent an itemized listing of everything that was purchased by Lake Fest in our tenure. It was inventoried, it's downstairs, but the one thing she forgot is that the number ones pay for the deer. You need to send a letter to them by the beginning of October so that they can vote to pay for those deer. I'm ready for your check for November. Thank you.
Any other public comment at this time? Like I said, I'm gonna start here with, please state your name.
And Marshall, I'm just calling or coming to ask for a status update. Obviously, 4 months ago, almost to the day, it was when I came here and was having to deal with Mr. Ramos trespassing, so I like an update of where the civil complaint of that is.
I can't speak for Solicitor Weiss, but he hasn't updated us on that situation at this time. I don't know if he ever made contact, meaning that they ever returned his phone calls or his emails, so I can't speak for Solicitor Weiss about how far we made it with that situation. I know he said that he was reaching out to, other attorneys, but I said we haven't heard any updates on where we're at on that.
Yeah, I've not heard anything either. I've not been contacted, and like he said, that, it's not gonna be brought under the rug, so.
Yeah.
I just wanted to, and the second part of that question is, 4 months ago, originally, the reason I came was because of all the trash and the garbage next door. And Mr. Ramos, you said you were gonna look into that, the night you came into my yard and trespassed and threatened me. Do you remember that night, April 13th? The garbage next door is still going on. Now, the nights that it's nice out, isn't it nice that you can open your windows to get air without having to worry about smelling trash, flies, mice? 'Cause why am I still having to complain about that? It's been almost 4 months. That bag has been sitting there since last week. Now, next week, it'll turn into 2 bags. The following week, it's gonna turn into 3 bags. Doesn't my block count? Why do I have to live next to this? Do you have this next to your house? Do you have bags of garbage sitting next to your property every day? You're not gonna answer, okay. Do you guys have to worry about trash like that next to your house? Like, can you open your windows up?
There's nothing there.
Sorry. It sits, next week it turns into 2 bags, next week it turns into 3 bags. And per city code, it's to be in a trash can with a lid. That's not a trash can with a lid. Why do I have to keep dealing with the mice and the trash? Does my block of 8th Street not count? Okay, thanks.
Any other public comment? Please state your name, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Lexi Lopez. I came to last council meeting to talk about Friends and Ferals, a TNR group that's doing work within Sunbury and neighboring counties. Currently, we're completing a colony on South 4th Street. Send you guys some pictures via email of one of the cats that we grabbed the other day. And just wanted to continue again to advocate for partnership with the City of Sunbury and Friends and Ferals. Like I said before, we're looking for $1,000 that will help 25 cats. We're looking at to be paid out after we have trapped, fixed, vetted and release said cats back into the community and provide you with receipt of these cats and where their colonies are. And I'm just looking to see if you have any further questions or what we can do to move this further along.
Question. Andrew and I were speaking about it, and one of our questions, we read the flyer, we pay as we go? Is that how it is?
Yeah, so we kind of have different deals with each of the municipalities we work with, but that is how it is essentially. Like we would, we trap the cats, we provide you a receipt of it, and then you pay. If there's like a specific agreement you would like to propose to us, we are more than willing to hear that. I have Brittany, one of the founders, CC'd on the email. She's been doing this for a lot longer than me, and she would be the best person to talk to about payment. She was CC'd on the email that I sent you guys earlier this week, and then the one the week before. So she definitely would be the best resource. But all of the agreements vary just a little bit by who we're working with. So we'd be happy to accommodate, what you're thinking.
There's no question we have the issue in town here, and we need your help. I know when Andrew spoke to me about it, we said about getting a hold of you and setting something up, but we were questioning how the payment went. In other words, when to put the $1,000 up front, we pay as we go, which is perfect. And there's different areas, and there's a couple people in town which I know have done some work down in my area and so forth, because I have 2 that's been fixed and take care of. But I think we'll be getting back to you. And I know out here Miller Street, there's supposed to be an issue out in Miller. You're aware of it?
Yes, yeah. So we have 6 colonies in line for Sunbury behind the one that we're currently working on. Race Street, I have a list. I believe Miller's on it though as well. So when we posted on Facebook that I came here to the last meeting, and we had 6 inquiries off the bat, just for the city of Sunbury. So we're looking to move on from. I go on vacation next week, and then after that, we're looking to move on from South Fourth and to continue on to the list.
I think that, Lisa, I don't know if I spoke to you yet, about setting something up, taking donations. I know there's a gentleman came and said about he wanted to contribute because of the fact he wants to make sure the cats are taken care of.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Friends of Ferals is totally volunteer run. All donations run, everything goes directly to the cats. All volunteer work is strictly volunteer, so all the money that is raised will go directly to the cats.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good program.
Yes, so I have, just through my email, I can share it with you if you'd like it. And then Friends of Ferals has a website and a Facebook that's very, very active. The messenger on there, if you ever need anything, you can message on there as well.
Question for you on animal abuse. So there's actually an animal that was just taken out to a cat, taken out to the Sunbury Hospital for abuse. That's out there. Looks like they need adoption. So I don't know if that's something we do.
So we do things with intakes and adoptions. We work with Cats in Bloom in Bloomsburg, and some of our cats and kittens go there. Currently, we are closed for intakes just because we have reached the legal limit of 150 cats that we're allowed to have in our foster care. However, sometimes when one goes, you can help another one out. So if there's a specific cat, like you said, that's in need of help, you can feel free to message.
Get your pictures of it,
Yep.
like Facebook and stuff.
Yep, get me pictures of it, and I can work with Brittany and the rest of the Friends and Ferals team to see how much we can help and what we can do. Sometimes too, we can just place it in foster, depending on, if there's room for that, so we can help with that. And then also, just for anybody in here who maybe has a colony living near them, on Friends and Ferals' website, there's a TNR form. That is basically a form that you fill out. You'll put your location, kind of a brief description of how many cats you think are in your colony. Sometimes there's more than you think. And also, if you have any pregnant cats, please list that because we'd like to prioritize that colony first. And then that form goes to the founders of Friends of Ferals, and we work down a list. And we just go down a list, and when we complete one colony, we move to the next. So that's how you would sign up to get your cats fixed. And yeah.
Thank you so much. Moving on, public comment. Please state your name, sir.
Timothy Regal. I'd like to thank the city of Sunbury and the Sunbury Police Department for allowing my son and I to bring car cruising back in the city of Sunbury. So far, we had 3 cruises, and this last cruise, we had one problem, which was taken care of by Sunbury Police right away.
So it wasn't me driving your son's car?
No.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure that was it. Thank you, sir. Public comment, please state your name, ma'am.
Tracy Lesher. I have some questions for Councilman Marinos. Back at the June 22nd meeting, longtime business owner here in Sunbury raised concerns about junk being piled up on the sidewalks and beside the building on North Fifth Street. And at that time, he had asked you when there was when it would be cleaned up. And you told him there would be a 20-day abatement period. That is over, and it's still not cleaned up. So is there any updates on that?
As I said, you can submit that question to my office and you can provide an answer letter, email, letter.
I have submitted answers on that, and the response I get from Jackie is nothing. I get no response,
I can follow up
so.
with her regarding.
Okay. And let's see here. So my other question is, last meeting you had mentioned, you gave some statistics on your calls for code as well. So my question is, if you put in a complaint about somebody's tall grass, are they not going to look at it? Or are they just calling or not giving a QOL ticket, quality of life ticket right away? Or because that list showed that there was different things done to different properties when it should be the same.
Again, you can submit that question to the office and we can provide a response by email, by letter, by phone.
Well, so now that we're talking about Jackie, have you posted the supervisor position to take over for her?
You can submit that question to my office and provide me.
Oh my God, dude. Well, I'll count you on this too, because you had said back in May that you were going to give it 7 months to hire a permanent supervisor. So how are you doing on that? Because you haven't posted one. Have you hired anybody else from the part-time posting? We're getting down to the wire here. I'm just saying.
Okay.
So is this how it's going to be? We bring things to city council, but you don't acknowledge them or anything?
I said you can submit this question to my office and we can provide a response by phone, by letter, by email.
Well, the problem is when you do submit those, you don't get anything back. I've submitted many of them, and I don't know about anybody else in here, but I've not received a response from anything.
I can follow up with Jackie regarding.
And what about 134 Chestnut Street? That should be on the nuisance list. I mean, there was times when, and right now, actually the weeds are high. There was complaints put in for that back in May, and also for the windows not being covered. Windows still aren't covered in the basement, weeds are high again. The owner was sent a code violation compliance notice, giving the owner till the end of June to remedy the situation. Nothing's done with that either. Like, what is the code office doing?
I have 134 race here to follow.
No, 134 Chestnut.
Oh, Chestnut, sorry, Chestnut.
134 Race is my house.
Oh.
And you're not gonna have any violations there. So speaking of violations, so what about,
Trace, I'm sorry,
I'm
you just
sorry.
finished up.
Sorry.
I don't want to cut you off, but
yeah. What about Julia Street? When are the sidewalks gonna go in there?
That's something that the my supervisor for.
You're the property manager. Isn't that what a property manager does? Manage the property of the owner?
Hopefully, I'm not a property manager.
You're not the property manager. Since when?
That's not my business to discuss.
All right. So I see how it goes. So some properties get preference, some don't. Some you do this, some you do that. You're not following ordinances. Like, again, continuously do not follow the city ordinances for anything. You don't enforce them, you don't follow
Trace, I don't
them.
mean to cut you off, but is there anything?
That's all right, no.
All right.
It's the same thing, meeting after meeting.
Is there any other public comment at this time? Please say your name, sir.
I'm Ryan McDonald. I'm the chair of the planning commission, but I'm not here in that capacity today. I'm here to pass on a statement from my employer. I'm just going to read off. My name is Ryan McDonald. I work for VQ Technologies at 301 Reagan Street, right underneath the underpass there. The owner is Jeff Myers, who was unable to come here tonight, so he asked me to read the statement. The recent change making Spee Street one-way has significantly reduced access to the business, our business, and to the family practice office that uses the alley as a means of ingress. We were not notified of this proposed change despite being directly affected. The city's published procedure for adopting an ordinance states that a first reading occurs, then a second reading at a later meeting to allow for public comment. From what we've been able to review, the ordinance was advertised only 2 days before the meeting, and it appears to have been voted on in the first reading without the required second reading or a public comment period. I'm asking council to reconsider this ordinance or at a minimum to reopen the matter for proper procedure to include notice to the affected businesses and opportunity for public input. I also understand that changes to the traffic flow typically require an engineering or a traffic study. If one was not done, I respectfully request that the city conduct the appropriate study before implementing a permanent change. This decision has real consequences for access and operations for multiple businesses. All our company's entrances are at the rear of the building, not on Reagan Street. By making Spee Street one way, it has reduced the means of ingress to our facility by 50%. I am simply asking that the city follows its own process and give affected stakeholders a chance to be heard. Jeff said he would also be happy to meet with council, discuss in greater detail if they're willing to do so.
Question, so you said, not you, but as you read, it said that what, so we didn't vote on it twice, is that what you're saying?
We couldn't find any record of it. We couldn't find any record of a traffic study or any.
Well, I mean, the traffic, I mean, it was on our, I mean, see, I don't want to overstep about talking about the traffic study. I'm just talking about the advertisement of the, about the resolution. So, like, correct me if I'm wrong, council.
So, the information that I was 2 days notice for, and nobody asked any of the businesses, because at this point, we are at the mercy of how many people are in the line at the CVS drive-through if we want to get to our business.
You got plenty of room through there, buddy, come on.
No,
I mean,
we
seriously,
don't.
the only way you get into your property is through the side alleyway there between CVS
This
and
is,
the
this
houses.
is the response that
And
Jeff
we
had
also-
gotten, which is why he asked me to go
We
through.
also did put that through almost 3 months until we said go through this.
Well, we couldn't find
And we
it.
started back in May with the process and then had to go 2
So-
months before that.
Kevin, I'm not here to be.
I'm not arguing with you either, sir.
We're asking for it to be opened up for discussion because there's 3 businesses that are now completely relying on the CVS parking lot.
It's a street.
It is if people treat it like a street. I've worked there for 20 years, and every day we have to wait for people to pull into the drive-through there. That's the only way we have in or out. We have trucks that come in there, we have deliveries that come in there, and we have 40 or more employees pulling in there. We have 2 parking lots, and now we have 1 way to get in. Including that place was last year or 2, where they randomly dug a hole in the street, in the middle of the street, and the city didn't do nothing about it, we pointed it out. That's our only way into our business. Now, you want businesses to come to Sunbury. Jeff recently bought the company from, he was our old salesman, he bought it from the company. He's invested money in the facility. We're hiring people like crazy and just bringing them work from China. We can't hire enough people. Now we can't get in there because you decided to switch one of our only 2 ways in. He just wants a chance to come talk to you about it and maybe have some input of the businesses.
Next meeting, 2 weeks, on the 24th.
24th?
Tell them to come, express how.
That's all we were asking for. But when he contacted.
How many people would you say, obviously, no trucks are going up that alley. That's just
Yeah, we do have trucks. We have a loading dock in the back. We have trucks.
No, I'm talking about off of Reagan Street, because.
No, the trucks aren't coming off Reagan Street, but
Yeah.
we have, so now everybody that would come to our business has to go to Reagan Street, come back around and all that. And like I said, we have CVS, that alley there, people treat like that as a CVS parking lot. I know it's a road. I understand that it is a road. It's not treated that way. I've worked there for 20 years. It's always a problem. And since it's been switched one way, it hasn't stopped anybody from coming back through. Still multiple times a day, because I'm out there all day, still cars coming back through.
Yes, no, I know that.
We
It
just
takes
like to
time
have
for
a
people to
seat at the
realize it is
table
one
because it
street.
directly affects our business.
But just tell them to come, the next meeting.
I will pass the message on.
Yeah.
So what you're saying, when they're going to CVS to pick up the prescriptions?
Yes, and it's
they're
not-
stacked- They're stacked out into the.
They're stacked, and now we have no other way to get there. So we're just basically at the mercy of CVS's business. And now it's not our fault, it's not CVS's fault, but
We
people
did
don't
that for
treat
a
that.
safety reason because the way they fly down that alleyway trying to beat the red light. And there's kids that play in that alleyway, and it was gonna take out, was the most.
Kids don't play in the alley, the kids play in our parking lot, and every day for 20 years, they play in our parking lot. They do not play in the alley.
I
Every
was
day
told
there
there were
for
a lot of
20 years.
people that was in that neighborhood, so that's why.
Well,
we
I'm
took
there
that
every
consideration
day,
to
I'm
do
there
it.
today. I was there back and forth 10 times today. Do we want the kids playing on the street? Because they're playing in the nice big parking lot next to the alley, not in the alley that's full of potholes. So I don't think that's a valid argument.
If we correct the issue with CVS, would that help you?
I don't know how you can correct that issue, because you just really can't. People treat that as a CVS parking lot, they always have. And even at that, we're still one entrance to our business. You want businesses to come in Sunbury. He's hiring people. He's bringing work back from China. He's investing money into the company, and you took away one of our only two ways in. Now, I will
Sometime
first,
that we can meet on site.
if you want,
Down, we can meet on site.
I will, yeah, I'll be happy, I can get with you after this and just go over it.
Just, yeah, we'll set up a time we can down and meet on site.
We just want a chance to have our heard, because we felt that it wasn't.
Understandable.
Yeah.
You guys can give me notice to come and give your.
I feel it would have been nice, because if someone would have said, hey, there's multiple businesses back here that are landlocked, if the city would have came and said, hey, what do you think about this before it was passed? And no one even mentioned it to us.
Well, you said, as Steve said, get with him and you guys can go up there
That's fine. I
and.
understand how this works.
Well, I'm not being smart, but the reason we did, you're halfway down Reagan Street Road, and we never really thought much if we were closing that off, because where your shipping and receiving door is,
That's our
past all
shipping
the
and
houses.
receiving door for small packages. We have a loading dock, and our main entrance is actually back by the railroad tracks.
Right, but they're not coming in from the alleyway to get back to you.
That's one of the two ways we can come in. We can come in the alley.
There's
or
no
we can
way
come
they're
in
going
the-
down that one-way street in the truck.
Well, you can go talk to the 40 or 50 or so employees every day that did that.
Well, for vehicles, yeah, but not
Yeah,
trucks.
I'm not talking about
I'm talking
large
about
trucks.
trucks.
I'm talking about just the people that work there, people that come in.
Understand.
And
I
we just,
understand what you're saying, yes, I do.
yeah, I'm not suggesting that we're bringing the big trucks in there.
Yeah.
But the CVS drive-through is a problem. I don't know what you can do to fix that, because I think it's just, people don't see it as a road, they see it as a parking lot. But it can be obstructive when you're trying to get in and out of there.
Of course.
And he just wants a chance to be heard and try to,
And maybe, like I said, we can try to come up with some
Yeah.
type of remedy to try to,
Just
help everybody.
he has some other suggestions to address the possible, the thing you're talking about with the cars trying to bypass. But we wanted a seat at the table to discuss.
Yeah, and maybe some of those suggestions are doable on our end that we didn't consider, so.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing, is we just wanted a chance to say something before it was passed, and when he messaged Mr. Troop, he just was blown off.
Understandable, but you said,
That's why I said,
give us Steve.
I will get with Steve, I know Steve, we'll hammer something out, and I'll get with him, that's all I.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Please state your name, ma'am. That's you, Jody.
Hi, I'm Jody with Sunbury Revitalization. Two things. Next week, Monday evening, I gave you each a handout on your desk there for the Keystone Core Services. So this is coming out of, if you remember, the DCED planners, through that Planning Activated Communities program, completed the downtown business area property inventory. So the next step in that is, what do we do about our property inventory? What are the properties that need to be addressed, to be invested in, to be redeveloped, and reused? So this learning session on Monday evening is for that, to understand the roles and responsibilities and authorities of all of the organizations that are involved, from your Blight Review Committee, your Planning Commission, Redevelopment Authority, understanding your ordinances, what's your role, what is the nonprofit's role, so that we can all understand what those are as a blanket baseline, and then also learn about specific strategies and tools that we can use to advance our goals and objectives with regard to redevelopment, investment, and reuse of these properties. A good example that it would be useful, like you brought up the property on Edison Avenue. If we all understood what the different roles and responsibilities are, what the different strategies are, what your authorities are, what you do, you would have a better idea of what to do when that opportunity comes in front of you. And you're not having to, guess, well, I don't know, what do we do with it, what's the plan? That there could be some strategies that we've all agreed on and tools that we've all understand how to use, that you know what you're going to do. And so every time there's an opportunity, you have the knowledge and skills and ability to act on that opportunity and realize a gain from that opportunity. So that's my pitch for that. It is next Monday evening at 6 p.m. at the Albright Center. Keystone Core Services are a team of professional experts in real estate. They are a subsidiary of the Pennsylvania Downtown Center. They have helped numerous communities with very similar problems. And they have lots of great information to share with us. This is just the first step, because after we have this learning session, we are going to plan a future workshop where we're actually going to look at Sunbury's downtown property inventory, priority areas, and talk more specifics about the way forward for this downtown revitalization, so we're all working together. So you have to register. That's what that QR code is there on there. You have to register to come. Please do that tonight so we know that you will be there. We're hoping to get every member of the Planning Commission, of the Redevelopment Authority, as many as possible to attend so that we can all learn the music, so we can all sing off the same sheet of music. All right, so enough on that. And then I would like to mention, of course, River Festival coming up this weekend. It's very exciting. We planned it. It's expanded to 3 kind of festival areas. I put copies of the schedule on the podium there. And we're very happy to be having something new this year called the Play Station on the Front Street side in Riverfront Park. There's going to be games you can play. The Armored Combat Worldwide Susquehanna Hellions are hosting a tournament. There will be other teams from around the area and out of state that are coming. It'll be very fun and interesting to see how that competition works, and that'll be happening all day Saturday. We have Ryan Castle here from Celestial Water Games. He's hosting a Dungeons and Dragons Live. So I know there's a lot of people in the community that are into those sorts of games, and this is an opportunity to do that, see and participate in a live version. On the Kohl's Hardware Community Stage, that's the gazebo. We have lots of entertainment planned there, starting with by Peeling's Reptile Land. We'll also have line dancing on Friday evening there in the park. And then on the morning of Saturday at 10 a.m., you mentioned Hope Kopf and her program. She will be presenting that program at 10 a.m., a very, very fascinating look into the history of frontier life and the life of a woman who might have lived here at the time when Sunbury was the frontier. There'll be 2 showings of a puppet show at 11 and 5. There will be a magic show at 3. Of course, we have the car show going on Saturday from 10 till 3. And I don't want to forget to mention Touch a Truck Friday night happening from 4 till 9. And I want to thank John for helping me with that. And then, of course, we have live music down on the M&T Bank sponsored River Stage. Live music Friday night is a video days and 80s tribute band. 80s style attire is highly encouraged. We will also have another magic show at 3 p.m. on Saturday, and live music including the Night Howls at 3:30 and Hank the Buffalo at 6. And then the grand finale fireworks will happen after that. Please take note of our sponsors. We really thank them for their contributions that make this possible and keep it a free event for all of our community. And we're very excited about these new developments in Riverfest, and we're always looking for ways to improve it and making it more family-friendly and more exciting and fun for young people and people of all ages. So come on out to River Festival. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Please state your name, sir. I'll keep working my way back then.
Kurt, regarding the suite, I forgot to ask, regarding the CDBG funding for $25,000 for the crosswalks, Line Street and 6th Street, are we still planning?
Yeah. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna incorporate that into the Susquehanna 2 project coming up. We're gonna incorporate that and carry that in with that project. That project we anticipate putting out this over the winter and starting in the spring.
Okay. And then just to have it to your attention, like we did previous years when we had issues at the suite, we do, and because there's so much conversation occurring around cameras in the city, we just want you to be aware we do have hunting trail cameras throughout the park because of issues, but it doesn't record any audio or anything. It's just in case something does happen, we can capture a picture hopefully of somebody. Just so you're aware, there's a couple in the park.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Please say your name, sir.
Ryan Castle with Celestial Water Games. I actually wasn't anticipating on saying something, but I've been running my business now for 2.5 years, and when I had some awkward stuff happen with my building, you guys helped me a lot. And then through coming to the meetings, I met Jody Ocker and Sarah at SRI, and I really want to thank not just City Council, but SRI with all the opportunities that you guys have given us. And I'm super excited, but also very nervous for Riverfest this Saturday. But I know it'll be a good time. Jody's incredible. Sarah, I can't thank you guys enough. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Any other public comment at this time? Please state your name, ma'am.
I just want to say about the 923 Edison Avenue property. I grew up in that end of town, and that was always a cool house, the way it was structured and so forth. And in asking questions, since it has come up of recent times at council, there was the gentleman that, and his wife that lived there, he was a member of the city, and I believe he was an engineer, Mr. Hogan. So maybe 10 or 15 years ago, and the fireman probably can speak to this, there was a fire that took the house to the left. And being that there was fire damage to the 923, I don't know how that fell through the cracks of code, because this could have been done a long time ago instead of where we are now. And I appreciate the lady that's bringing forward the cat situation, because unfortunately a lot of the cats are not quote-unquote feral. They're cute when they're little, but when they get big, they get kicked to the curb. So they fend for themselves. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment at this time?
I have one more question. Not this for you, actually.
Okay, go ahead.
So on the city's website, it says, to be eligible to serve on a board, authority, or commission, you must be a resident of the city.
So, I don't want to speak on a legal aspect here, but this is from, I'm going to go back based on past practice. If we were unable to get enough board members to fill a position, or they had some type of, I can't think of the word, not, like if they owned a property or, were a business owner or something like that, we allow them to be able to serve on the board if there wasn't enough people to serve on that board who were citizens, if that makes sense.
Josh, but they own property that's standing.
Standing, the rest of the word, if it had standing in the community. So throughout the years, I mean, you guys see it here come January, like, it's the same people applying for the board positions because we can't get enough people to apply for some of these positions.
That's not true. That's not true.
It really isn't true. I've seen people
Yeah,
apply, and you guys haven't voted them in, so
But
that
I'm just
part is
saying,
true.
based on past practice on why some people who may not live in the city are on board, because they do have standing, and when we rephrase this, council didn't see fit to put enough people in those boards. That's why some people may be on boards who do not live in the city. Now, based on past practice, now I can't speak on the legal aspect of it because Solicitor Reese is not here. I'm just saying from past practice that we have done.
Okay. And why hasn't there been a blight committee meeting lately?
I can't answer that.
Well, you're supposed to be the one to appoint
Because
an
we're-
executive person from
Because
the...
we are still, there are two possible eligible people waiting for them to step up, and I'll go with it.
I can answer to that. So I'm chair of the planning commission. We, in our last meeting, you can check our agenda, we are in the process of getting that resituated with new members. And it's going to be actually, we're going to vote our representative for the blight commission at our next meeting. It's in the process, at least from the planning commission. We're putting forth our previous member is no longer on the board, so it is
In the process.
It is in process, but
Right.
it's not gone away. It's still.
But going off of,
That's not the only one.
but going off
Yeah, that's not
from
the
the
only
executive
board.
office, we have two other people who could fill out the board, which would be either Kathy out of the finance or Steve out of DPW. Those are two individuals who.
But you're supposed to appoint them.
Correct, technically, yes, I could appoint them, but we'd like to have someone volunteer other than, better be volunteer than voluntold.
But that's holding the process of the blight properties here in town. Because
I understand.
you understand.
Well, I will work on that to get one of those two people to be voluntold to do that. All right, any other public comment at this time? Victoria's, make it real quick, please, because technically only one.
Does your ordinance say I only have one time? Because it doesn't. The ordinance says I have 3
Then
minutes.
go ahead.
This is my second time.
Go ahead.
So if you want it that way,
No,
then
go-
I suggest
go
council
right.
needs to rewrite their ordinance, because this is what we're running into, ordinance not being followed. So let's not pull it out of the air and say, I can't talk yet.
Nope, you go right ahead.
So I'm gonna piggyback. So I wasn't at last meeting. Was the nuisance list updated? Because I thought I heard something about that, but that hasn't been updated yet. Because Blake hasn't met yet, right?
It's in process.
Is in process, because Blake hasn't met yet, and that's a part of that process. So and the only other thing real quick is also, you're saying to call, email to the code office,
Yes, if you have any questions, you can
and I
submit
get
to
your
our
response.
office, to the code complaints at sunburypa.org,
Mhm.
and you will get a response by phone, by letter,
No.
by
The only time I get a response is when I call in and say, did you come out to this property that sits beside me that looks like Jurassic Park? Okay? And it does. And I have to sit on my patio and look at Jurassic Park with a toilet sitting in the middle of it, and the weeds this high. And first they did a verbal agreement. The state police officer came in and we did a verbal agreement with him. And then I called a week later and said, where are we at? And they said, well, he promised he would get it done next week. Well, that's been 3 weeks now. So now they came the other day because I had to call and say, where are you in this process? Okay? And now there's the orange thing hanging on the door, and now it goes to the magistrate. So what is happening is Victoria is doing the work. I took the pictures. I called and said, this is what you're supposed to do per your ordinance. Okay, so I think I'm gonna apply for that part-time job, because I'm pretty much been doing it. And fielding calls from the community, because your policy, when I filed a right to know, when you started your property complaint form, you did a complaint form with no policy and no procedure, and that's why your community is confused, because your staff doesn't know what to do with it. And there is a little box down at the bottom that says, do you want follow-up? And I check it every time, and we get nothing. I'm still waiting on emails from you from when you first took office. And I'm going to tell you now, there's 75 people on here listening, and a lot of the people are asking, why does council not respond? Why does council not answer? So they're watching. Not just here, they're watching on that camera too, because Joe, you got a lot more hits on your thing, don't you? Because people are paying attention and I share it out too. So the community's watching them. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
Any other public comment at this time? Any other public comment at this time? All right, I adjourn this meeting.